This is one of the Karankawa shelters. This is one of the Karankawa's summer huts. The huts were made of long sapling tree trunks or limbs of a tree, bent over in a large circle. They would bend them over, making a frame. They would cover it with leaves and animal skins. They made their huts easy and simple. Their best houses were in the winter. Most of the time, in the summer, they would be moving because they were nomads. Their huts were made of a few limbs and animal skin.
This is where human living. The Karankawa lived along the Gulf Coast of Texas. Since they lived on beaches, they ate fish, oysters, big turtles, and alligators. The animals they ate on land were deer, turkey, rabbits, and buffalo. They also ate plants like weeds and blackberries. They made containers with simple pottery to make it cold bins. They would smear asphalt all over it. The Karankawa made and used lots of tools. Most of them were made of stone, wood, bone, or shells, and cane. The weapons they used were knives, scrapers, arrows, and pots. They spell pots were made of flint and choked stone. They made huts out of bent-over, tied together sapling trees. The women wore grass skirts and the men wore beach clothes. And the kids didn't have any clothes. They didn't have clothes. They dressed that way because it doesn't get that cold in the Gulf Coast.
For Karankawa leadership, the Karankawa was a very interesting tribe. They traveled in small nomad groups. Every group had a leader. One group had a 5-foot leader, and most tribes' leaders were girls. Girls were leaders because the men were too busy hunting buffalo for shelter and fishing for food. Karankawa customs. Karankawa's ceremonialism centered around the gathering known as mitosis. They were held for a variety of meanings or purpose. They each were involving different activities. The ceremonies sometimes included or involving dances and the consumption of an intoxicating beverage brewed from the perched leaves of the yapon and small shrub-like tree native to South Texas. The Karankawa lived along the coastal blend of the Texas Gulf Coast. The coastal blend started on the Galveston Island. It goes southwest of Corpus Christi. It has a lot of shallow bays. They are miles long. It has a long and narrow barrier island that protects the lagoon that protects the lagoons that are between the main up the mainland. The Karankawa lived along the bays and along the lagoons, mostly in the winter. The bays and lagoons brought a lot of wildlife. There were a lot of fish and oysters. They lived on saltwater and brackish water. Most of the bays have large rivers that came together, like the Colorado and the Guadalupe. There is a lot of creeks and swamps. The alligators and big turtles lived, and they are good on the land. There are deer, turkey, and rabbits. In the spring and early summer, there are blackberries and different plants and roots to eat. This is another artifact for making a living. The women wore grass skirts and the men wore beach clothes. And the kids come down naked.